we step on that battlefield, we fight for each other. Which is why it's so hard to give up that brotherhood. The only way out is right through it. I'm not gonna apologize for what I did.
I cannot hear you, Nick. I hear you not at all. Am I the only one? Yeah, everyone's staying muted. Nobody can hear you. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, talking to the stream. Yep, I'm not hearing it on the video feed either. Definitely not. Now I'm hearing something. I'm hearing me. You might want to fumble with settings. Hello? Yeah, everyone says they can hear me. I can't hear Nick at all. Hi, Waylon. How you doing? Does anyone in the chat hear Nick? I don't hear him at all. Oh, he's turning it off and on again. There we go. Nope, nothing. See, we didn't say anything to each other backstage, so I could have told him this, but the show just kind of started. Let's see. Waylon says, I don't hear Nick at all. Peeper sounds like he.
What about now?
There we go. There we go.
Fucking StreamYard. Holy hell. God. Didn't change a single thing from last night. Log in tonight. Boom. Doesn't work. My lord. Well, can we just redo the intro? We're redoing the intro. I'm gonna edit this whole thing in post. No. I'm gonna leave it in there just to show that IT things can happen to anyone at any time. What I was saying was that we're talking about episode 4, the Terminalist Dark Wolf spinoff from Jack Carr called The Sound of Guns. It's gonna be a fun one. It's just gonna be the two of us because the Canadian people are not gonna be here tonight. So, the Americans will hold it down. So, Gord, how are you, man? How you been?
I'm good. Been going deep into the editing, obviously, and so that's been fun and kind of tiring. But then I took a break to catch up on 2 episodes of Terminalist, so that was really fun too. It's
very nice.
Show.
Yeah, what I said last week was like I was kind of wondering what you would think of episode 3. Before we get into episode 4, if you have anything that you want to mention about episode 3, or I mean, you have to go like obviously a full breakdown of it, but maybe like your initial thoughts, maybe about some of the finer points of that episode, leading up to episode 4 here.
About episode 3,
Yeah, about episode 3. Yeah.
let's see. I'm trying to remember the events so they don't bleed together. I think. I mean, these 2 episodes kind of feel like they're both setting up something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Probably why they kind of do feel like they bleed together. Obviously, we do get a really big twist at the end of 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoyed both of them. I would say episodes 1 and 2 are stronger than both of these overall, I think. But again, it's like these are episodes they're clearly using to set up larger plot elements. So, which is fine. A lot of people kind of put down setup episodes. I'm fine with them as long as they pay off well, and I do have a feeling both of them are going to execute that well. I do like that we're getting little details about, some of the shadier characters, and there was one thing they did that I didn't like very well because I didn't think they set it up all that well. It was kind of a small moment. I really don't know what they're going to do with it with just 3 episodes left in this series. We'll come to that, I suppose. But yeah, overall these were fun. These were pretty strong.
Yeah. Before we dive into it, we'll say so to people in the chat that helped let us know that I had no audio, so muted. It was intentional. I'm just kidding. I was making sure that you guys were awake. I just decided to kind of play along with it for a trick or treat. What's going on, Waylon? Papers, how's it going, man? Good to see you both here. Sierra, how are you? Call IT support so they can instruct you how to reboot your computer. Yeah. Thank God I work in IT. Well, I have worked in IT before, so thank God I didn't spend all stream trying to figure it all out. But Cannoli, how is it going? How are the fellas? I'm eating pumpkin pie. You taste great, Gord. Phrasing? But pumpkin pie is good though. Cannoli, do you like to eat it with some like whipped cream on top or just plain old pumpkin pie?
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Okay, some phrasing in here. Sherry, how are you? Hope you're doing well, love. And thanks for stopping by. Good, always good to see you. I try to unplug it and plug it back in. I was like this close from starting to rage at technology. Sweet tater pie is superior to pumpkin pie. Sweet potato pie is good, and then definitely with cream on top. All right, well, there you go. There you go. Now the question is, what's the superior pie overall? Sweet potato, pumpkin, apple.
Yep. I like apple. Apple and cherry are actually probably my 2 favorites. I know a lot of people aren't particularly high on cherry for whatever reason, but I think apple's probably the best one, at least to me. I don't eat pie all that often, to be perfectly honest, but
it's a holiday thing for me, absolutely. But apple pie for sure. Blueberry pie? I haven't had a lot of blueberry pies in my life. Not that they've been bad, but just more. I like a good cherry pie. Like I think it depends on like the amount of cherries and like how much filling as well. But it's too bad that these guys in Geneva aren't eating some good old pie like we're talking about. Coconut cream pie is also good. Key lime pie is also another. Yep, boom. There's just thinking that key lime pie is another favorite of mine. Key lime and apple pie are probably my 2 faves because key lime is really big here in like Florida. So that kind of makes sense why I like it, being a Florida boy and all. But yeah, so getting into this episode here, this is like you said, Gord, this is another sort of build up, establishing episode. There is a big twist at the end, and I remember in Discord when mean, myself, Vex, and Waylon, we were all sort of watching it mainly and talking about it, and some of the things that build into it. I think this episode is a little bit shorter than the first three. I think this episode is only about 45 minutes long. But I think it was a decent pace for the most part. I really like a couple particular moments in it because you do have some similar themes that we've already been seeing throughout the first three episodes with like trust and betrayal. Especially in the moment when Ben is talking to Rafe, when Rafe is literally doing a Captain America Age of Ultron moment when he's just chopping wood. Granted, he's not ripping it apart with his hands, but he's sure as hell splitting that piece of wood in one fell swoop with the axe. And I think that's why the moment I saw that, I'm like, he's super ripped, especially in that scene. He's got all the the vascularities pumping through. I'm like, he could probably play Captain America rather well. Not gonna lie. Especially if we were to shave and get rid of the beard, or you just use bearded Captain America, right? But anyway, yeah, there's some trust and betrayal themes in this one as well. There's I think a continued questioning of identity, especially surrounding Ben, but we do see more of the certain characters like Landry as an example, and Eliza, who, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the episode, is the one who betrays Ben. Which there's a moment that as I was watching this again today, I'm like, the scene where they're all at the table and they're talking about the convoy hit, and Rafe is the one is proposing these questions like, I think we should find another location. And both Ben and Elisa are saying, well, we've scoped it all out. It's sound, it's great. It's a perfect, place to ambush this escort and get out scot-free. Well, until, they were ambushed by an unknown, sort of militia. And I think what leads Rafe, Ben, and Elisa after they're at the table kind of looking at each other, excuse me, and it's sort of this look that Elisa has towards Rafe, that Rafe has towards her and Ben, and it's like there's a lot of friction in this nonverbal sense, and I'm like, yeah, you could definitely tell that there might be this, there's a trust issue here, and what Elisa's real plan and where her like real loyalty lies. Like, does her loyalty lie to the mission, and where Ben's loyalty lies? Because it's like he's taking her side in this and not his brother's side, not the side of Rafe of Hastings, where they've spent a lot of time, a lot of battles, a lot of hardship moments together, and it's like, he's your brother, right? He's your frogman. You guys been through hell and high water together, and all of a sudden you're taking this broad's her side, and it's like he's like, third flag, you're thinking with the wrong head, mate. And I'm like, yeah, he definitely is. Yeah.
I will say this: I do think that element probably should have been built up a little bit more, kind of like, because I didn't think my one of my mind.
Oh, we just lost Gordon. Oh man. There we go. Hold on.
my water bottle hit my keyboard and locked.
I think it sounded like something like knocked you out.
Yeah. Aquafina did it.
Oh geez.
It's because
She's
I was
terrible.
putting down Shang-Chi earlier.
Oh, nice.
I realized that being off camera kind of hurts that joke a bit, because you can't see that the bottle of water is Aquafina in front of me. So.
That's how I figured it
was. But I
but...
assure you it works. But no, anyway. But yeah, it's one of my minor criticisms of the episode was the fact that I didn't feel like they did enough to show kind of the discord being sowed between the two leads, but Rafe and Ben. I was like, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of them kind of being in conflict to kind of show, so that woodcutting scene would have a little bit more payoff there. Like, I get what they were going for, and I think they did legwork to help set up a moment where you showed the discord, but I would have liked to have seen, an actual scene where that's more evident. Because, like, they obviously they have the stuff where he's asking questions about the one guy, the black guy who's running the operation. They
Jed,
obviously with Mossad, it's like, okay, this is another. They work for a completely different government. They probably are going to have motivations all their own. That inherently makes you wonder if there's going to be conflict there, which obviously we find out later there is. So they did the legwork to where I was thinking, okay, there's going to be something that's going to show that, it's going to put some separation between, but they didn't really do that. They just went to the woodcutting scene, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I don't feel like we saw that really. So I would have liked a little something there. I thought that could have helped the episode a lot, but it's kind of a minor quibble because, again, I know what they did a lot to where I know where they were going for. It's just I felt like there was just one more scene they could have added to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and that's maybe why, since this was a shorter episode, if it was more like a solid hour, not that you would need a lot of time to build on that, but again, if you're
you could really just tack it on to a mission scene,
right?
Like you could literally do that within, like, show him make a decision that conflicts, like make one decision where he's taking her side of hers, like, maybe she's saying stuff like okay, I think here's a perfect kind of place for it. Say during the scene where they have Muhammad meeting up with the guy, he's posing as the dude they just killed. And, she's the one kind of saying, no, let's, let the transaction go through, even though you got all those people closing in on them. If you maybe had, like, say, Rafe saying, no, we need to bail on this, but Ben kind of overtly siding with her, like maybe asking her, it's like, are you sure about this? And Rafe kind of maybe speaking, it's like, no, this is a bad idea. But then him going with her over him, it's like, that you really only needed a good 20 more seconds and you could have achieved it.
Yeah.
It kind of just felt like a bit of an oversight. Like maybe they thought maybe they were considering doing that and they just never wrote it in. I don't know. It just felt like an oversight.
Yeah, it could have been just people like cut to a certain extent, or maybe they just, I kind of would be interesting to see why they might not have added something like that onto it. Or maybe they did, but it was already too late, sort of thing. Who knows? But I agree. Just again, not that you would have needed an extra time, but I think you would have had time, right? If every episode's generally an hour long, especially with a show that's only 7 episodes, you have that extra time to maybe work with. And I understand that depending on the writing and how much you want to include, like you want to at least have a 45-minute episode. With those pesky ads that are on Amazon now, it adds a couple extra minutes here and there. So your viewing length will be more than 45 minutes, but if you're just watching it plain and simple, it kind of flies by rather quick. At least that's how I felt this time around. But I agree. I think you could have just expanded on that just a little bit more without going too far off the deep end. And it would have added a lot too. So just to kind of go through some of what we see here, Ish was the newest addition from last episode, and he gets killed in a somewhat brutal way. With on the train station. But the one thing we talked about last week and wondered if Ish was actually related to Haverford. Was it his son, or or was it maybe a relative cousin, perhaps? Like, you know, I mean, and the reason why I say maybe like the potential of his son because of this job that he lives, you know, maybe his son, maybe Ish got into this sort of lifestyle as well because of his father, but because of his father's work and you know this sort of mission as that mysterious person on the phone that Rafe talks to later is like he's like this is the same guy who's been doing the same thing for the last 20 years and like it's sort of like been his vengeance you know and he's done more for this country than anyone else has in that side of the world, right? So it's like Jed Haverford's purpose outweighed the fact that he had a son to maybe kind of be more involved with, but maybe because of what Ish was able to do with his career, and maybe they worked together, right? Like father son, but it was just sort of kept on the DL. Again, not saying that he is a son, but it just kind of felt like how he was, affected in this way, right? I mean, like he's lost men before in these operations and these battles, especially with what happened in Beirut, as it's explained in this episode, right? So, I thought it was interesting. I that would be like a question I would have asked, Jack Carr. Was there any sort of relation, or did he just feel that strongly for Ish as one of his trusted operators, basically, right?
Yeah, that's more the impression I got. I mean, granted, I haven't watched the show all the way through, so unless there's some reveal that I'm not aware of, it's like the impression I got was just that they worked together for a while. So there's that amount of care because obviously he's the one in charge, and you're a leader and you're in charge, and you lose someone it's going to affect you. But
yeah,
and that was pretty brutal. I mean, I like the way that was staged too, though. Is they're communicating back and forth, and then just suddenly you hear a bit of a struggle. And then when he comes upon him on the bench, it's like his throat's pretty brutally cut. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it's got a nice like gash, just like what cut open there, which that
was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, because in some of the words that he says here, like Mo said he had a wife and kids, but Ish was married to the job, so and again, very well could have just been a trusted op. For Haverford, right? And he's worked together again, and that maybe Jed just had a close bond as a I don't know, as working mates or something on those lines. But
yeah, that was more or less the impression I got. This is a team. It's a small team. It's they're typically, relatively, intimate setting, very reliant on one another, so like I would think like a unit like this, because I was thinking about this when, during the second episode or was it it might've been the first episode. Basically whenever, they dismiss Ben and Rafe from the SEALs, it's like, gosh, this is a relatively, it's not a large unit of people who are Navy SEALs. So, gosh, when two of them get dismissed or killed or anything like that, I mean, that's like a body losing a limb. I mean, you're going to feel that because like these are people you rely on. These are highly skilled people that are very rare. Mm-hmm. And in this sense, it's like it's an even smaller group of people. So any loss is going to feel heavy. I mean, if you recall what they say about what's his face, who they bring on board, who none of them like, they are like, they're like, Landry's essential. It's like we don't like him, but he is essential to the mission. So it's like that kind of tells you, it's like, okay, each individual member is chosen carefully. They all have essential function. They're needed. So if you lose someone you need, it's like, okay, how do we replace this? So there's that on top of the fact that they've apparently worked together for a while. So
yeah, he's a hired gun, right? And at this point, what does he have to lose? It's a job for him. And as he stated when he joins the team, he's like, the algebra guy was coming from him, but like, you did cost me a job, right? So it's like he just kind of is along for the ride, but and we kind of mentioned this last episode where he's a creep, and you continue in this episode. You see how him being even creepier towards Tal, which does have a bigger payoff that we'll see later on. But yeah, this number or this person that Rafe calls, as he's trying to get his own answers on Haverford, right? Because again, he talk about trust. He still doesn't trust Haverford, even though he's done a mission already for him, right when they were able to take out Denawi. So, and then they were able to enact as in Denawi to proceed with the money transfer in last episode, right? With when Mo was pretending to be Denawi, with the nuclear physicist professor, right? So Rafe's done a lot so far, but it's like he's wondering what else does he have to give and why. But it's interesting, this person, and I'm kind of wondering who it is that knows his father. And the thing that I find interesting is that he knows what happened to him with the teams, but his father doesn't. And it's like, we can keep it that way. And I'm looking at I'm reading the new Cry Havoc book right now, and I haven't gotten to anyone yet that I might suspect could be in this position, but maybe there is something there that might hint to this. And again, there might be some like really cool connections, because that was one thing we also mentioned last week, was that we don't know if this show is going to have a second season, which I would say there's definitely room for it, because of the time gap between this season and the Terminalist season 1. We're already getting Terminalist season 2 next year in 2026. If we're going a season per book, that means we would eventually have 5 more seasons of the Terminalist, and now we have another one with we could have another one with Cry Havoc, which I can't not see that one being made, just because the book has been doing very well. His writing is better, and even what Vex said, the second book, True Believer, is a lot better than his first book with the Terminalist. So again, there's a lot of interesting things that could potentially happen, that builds the backstory and is connecting more of the pieces and these figures together. Because if there's someone that we would know from Cry Havoc, that's like, oh, that's the dude that called Rafe on the phone in Dark Wolf, season 1, right? That knows Haverford. So again, there's things that could just definitely be tied together in a string of interesting people. But speaking of his backstory here, this is when we're knowing more about who Haverford is and what he believes in, and kind of what he stands for. And again, having this purpose from 1983, when you dedicate your life to a cause, and it's the country, but as it's stating here, the proxy force for the Iranian hardliners, the bombing in Beirut, lost 8 friends, 2 vertebrae in his back, which is why he walks around with a cane. But like, he's not someone that you want to have on your bad side, and we learn a little bit more. Rafe, I think this only builds the mystery and the lack of ability to trust him, because it's like, okay, there's someone that's been an insider that's been working with him for however long, called the Shepherd. So it's like, okay, and now there's more questions that I don't have answers to. It might not get any answers to, but here we are, he's trying to figure out who the hell Haverford really has for a connection. And you kind of see Rafe poke the bear a little bit, which he doesn't mind doing. But it is interesting too how Haverford's like, hey Rafe, follow me, let's have a chat. So this Rafe's like, I in trouble or something like that, or what? But it's like next time you got a question, just ask me. So again, nothing seems to get by Haverford. So it's like, what sort of web does he crawl over? And I'm not saying that Haverford's a spider, or not trying to make him seem like he's a spider in a sense, like metaphorically, but he just has a lot of connections, right? And the characters here over in Geneva, definitely have an interest because of what Haverford is alluding to, more or less. And I'm not going to spoil anything because I know you're not caught up with the rest of the season, but pretty interesting.
This scene completely broke my immersion. He handed the boy an iPhone and he didn't call it a vest detonator. What the heck?
Where's the C4?
As if that kid would just call it an iPhone.
What's up, Rowan? How you doing, man? Good to see you, dude. There are a lot of good drops in season 1 that tie back to Dark Wolf and will toe to season 2. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm, looking forward to, honestly. And Peeper says it's really hard to get into the Navy SEALs. Yes, I have heard that 75 to 80% dropout rate, and I think they kind of alluded to that. And I think in episode 2 when they took away their tridents, right? When Commander Cox is like saying like, this is what you're doing. It's not just some badge, not some patch. Like, you're taking the men's soul away because of the sheer difficulty of them getting into this in the first place, and then to sticking through it. Like, once you make it, cool, you've made it in the program, but now you got to stick through it. So, they're real troopers, right? Good thing I didn't say poke the gorilla. Tie, not toe, had a beer. Nice. What kind of beer did you have? No phone without a pest. It's true.
Exactly. It's like, what is this? The S version? Where's the vest? What the heck?
Well, I just
like one of ours. It's like one of ours coming without like earbuds.
Yeah, I just find it funny. It's like, here's a knife that's like from a war that's killed a bunch of people. Probably, I'm gonna give it to a kid, and the kid's just like, what do I do with this? It's a reminder of where you came from. It's like,
thanks.
Oh, what do I come from? Like, don't I come from like toys and stuff? Like, I mean,
I clearly thought mom gave birth. I thought mom gave birth to me. No, it was the knife.
The knife is your life now.
That's why I named the knife Mother.
Yeah, clearly these two guys don't like each other. And Cyrus, the older brother, I think he goes by, or his name is pronounced differently. I forget what episode it is, but I just called him Cyrus.
I'm terrible with the names on the show. I'm only just starting to get the hang of a few of them.
I forgot like this dude's name, but like everyone else I've known, I've remembered at least. But it's a Yusuf. Yeah. So you got, so the guy with the glasses is Cyrus. The other guy is Yusuf. Older brother, younger brother. And they've got their own plan. And it seems like Yusuf is maybe the wiser of the two. Because he kind of just sees things for what they are. And then, Cyrus is just all about power and wanting control. And it's like, stuff like that blinds you from the real prize, or the real light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. The real explosions. So this is an interesting shot here, which kind of curious to see what you think about this, because it says Munich, and they don't really give us a lot to work with here, but you see,
it's always the German scientists.
Yeah, you see
always the German scientists.
It looks like some sort of modeling in the background. You've got some, not too bit of a messy desk, but cigarettes.
Yeah, clearly somebody like that's their spot. That's pretty much where they live.
Yeah. and they've got an open portal with a bunch of encrypted languages on here, but a message goes off, and that's it. It's like, well, now it's not ambiguous, but let's keep proceeding with the chess game between Mo and Ben here, which I think the biggest takeaway from all this is Mo's line of even a pawn can take a king, after he gets him a checkmate. So yeah. Which is true, right? In metaphorically and speaking.
All I got from that, because it's like, okay, I'm just going to extend out the metaphor. What's the most powerful piece on the board? It's the queen. That means chess. Chess is the wokest game ever made. Chess was the first Chess created the first Mary Sue.
Yeah, chess created the female character. It's the most
literally
strongest
that
character.
Can do anything.
Yep.
The queen in chess is a Mary Sue.
Yep.
That's going to go into a video. I just came up with that, and I'm actually kind of proud of it now. So
yeah, that is good. Can move all across the board, move in any direction. Yep. Meanwhile, all the other
whoever created chess, freaking feminists. I'm telling
you. Lo and behold, the Queen's Gambit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then a mysterious chime, right? That we saw from this apartment, and then Howard's like, "Boom! Hey, my contact came through." Okay, well, learn a little bit more. It's like, here's a couple breadcrumbs to chew on, and you continue building our appetite for knowing more about who's behind this. But yeah, they're just kind of talking about the deal, which again is they know the risks, and they understand like what needs to be done here, but it's all about these bearings that if Iran gets their hands on, then boom, they can go nuclear. But if they deliver fake ones, then that'll be fine. And they'll be fooled because they won't reach that same speed. And you hear that with Tal's contact later on when Rafe goes with her. The interesting part about this table scene here is with Tal and Creeper Landry, or as Roman says, fat CIA guy, which he is correct. Because he tries to pour her wine. She's like, "Nah, I don't want any." And she gets up and then grabs the bottle, proceeds to pour it herself. And Landry makes this sort of like, what gives? Like, I offered to give you wine here. And, she does not want anything to do with him whatsoever. But he just keeps pushing and pushing on her until, we see what happens later on in the episode. Cord is my vegetable queen.
I keep telling him pumpkins aren't vegetables. It's I don't like to walk around saying I'm a fruit, but
it might be a little different. Context matters.
Yeah, we're deeply closeted vegetables.
Yeah. Right, Waylon. Yeah, she can get her ass whipped by a pond. Yeah. IPAs. There's some good IPAs out there. Zax, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
What's up, Zach?
Good to see you, buddy. Nothing on the West Coast is hip. Yeah, this is Haverford just have a little chat with Rafe.
I did like that line. I prefer adult-sized cigars.
Adult-sized cigars. Yeah. I prefer adult-sized cigars. But yeah, the ones I'm smoking were rolled by a beautiful Cuban woman. I mean, I'd still take the adult-sized cigars at that point. Yeah, but same thing. He's like, "Oh, you're poking around about me? Just listen. Be straightforward with me. You got a question, ask it." And he does. He's like, "Okay, who's your source?" So let's be direct. Let's try to clear the air a little bit here, because obviously there's a ton of mystery, not just the smoke that he's smoking with his tiny cigars, but yeah,
He did have a good retort. He was like, they're rolled on the bodies of, fine Cuban women. I'm like, okay, I'll try one. What the heck?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you'd prove that, but
I know. What if
unless you're rolling them yourself, I guess. I mean, maybe that's how you got them. But
yeah, do you visually verify that they are being rolled by beautiful Cuban women?
that actually would be a funny, like, just let's get out. It's like, okay, I have to step away for a couple of days. I'll be right back, and he just goes off the beaten path to roll him some Cuban lady mini cigars, and he's like, okay, I'm going back now. I got my pack.
Yeah, like it would have been kind of funny, like, and as like a weird post credit scene, you see Haverford like, I gotta go travel for a second. I'll be back. Don't worry about me. And so like the mission kind of keeps happening, and the episode ends, and then like the post credit scene happens, and then you see Haverford in Cuba, like, he's having a drink, but he's just watching and talking to someone who is making a bunch of Cuban cigars for him, and it's just beautiful Cuban women. Not a long scene, but just to kind of see it, and then he's like, thanks, and then disappears back to the team, and in Munich.
That's like his gas station trip, as he just flies to Cuba to get a pack of lady rolled mini cigars. And he goes back to like, all right, what I miss?
Yeah. All right, fill me in. What I miss? But the whole Cuban cigars are rolled over on Virgin size is a myth. Probably.
They better not be. I paid extra for that.
Virgins are a myth, right? Like high school, they'll have sex.
It's the scary thing about Wayland Staten is that the sex of the virgin was left ambiguous. So I'm just saying, you might end up with the man brand if you're not careful.
That is true.
Like, oh, it's like you take one puff and you're like, oh no, this is incel cigars. No, it's a Cuban incel.
How was the ladies' night? Ladies' horror nights.
Oh, you had a ladies' night. Well, that's nice.
Yeah. And I think again, this sort of falls into this trust theme where Haverford's like, look, I understand how you frogmen work, right? You want to be told where to poop, how to poop, but I've worked with this guy for decades. Like, he's a trusted person of mine. Again, I think he's trying to not so much win Rafe over, but just shoot as straight as he possibly can without divulging too much information that Haverford knows that what he needs to keep close to the chest and like what he can sort of just freely give away. But I mean, I like this question they asked. Why do you think Mo? Why do you allow Mo to watch your back, given like what he is? And it's like, well, I know what he's fighting for. And it's like, boom, there you go. There's my answer as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's like, if you understand the motivation, you better understand the man. Which
right.
What's funny is like kind of the double-edged sword to that is like, well, you're employing a couple people that you don't necessarily know everything they're fighting for with Mossad. So
yeah, it's like he's no different. The shipper's no different than Mo, right? They're essentially fighting for the same thing, not the same person, but they're fighting for the same thing because they've lived different lives. I figured you'd appreciate this because I think this was a well-placed Jimi Hendrix song here during the episode. Kind of fits well. Whereas,
I mean, I'm not an especially like big fan of Jimi Hendrix. I mean, he's fine. I mean, I'm fine with him, but I can't say I listen to a ton of his music. But it is a well-placed song. I mean, which this show is doing a good job with that. Using
much better than Alien Earth.
Infinitely. Well, Alien Earth just never did it right once. It was always weird and awkward and stupid.
And
that kind of music doesn't fit an Alien show to begin with. Alien's not a series that needs, a soundtrack. It needs a score.
Yeah. And Yeah, Machine Gun is a good Hendrix song, and that's the thing, right? Like you hear they play a Tool song in this episode, which is again like it's well placed because it's sort of like a montage as they're prepping up for the big Escort hit, right? So it fits, and it's like that's how you put music in a proper location, not like randomly at the end of an Alien Earth, a sci-fi show, but
it puts the deep sigh in sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
A deep, aggravated sigh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, even for this, like, as the captions are like kind of putting tense music into these parts, which this whole tunnel scene is foreboding because of lo and behold, it's where the big twist happens, especially with these two characters, and
well, is this the exact tunnel where it happens? I might have
just
lost my geography in it. Yeah,
it's right.
I mean, granted, even this scene actually is where I started to think she's gonna turn on them, like, because it's kind of happening fast, this this kind of romantic tension between them. It's like I'm getting the sense that she's gonna probably turn on them because she's making him do something immoral. I mean, granted, yes, I know him and his wife, their relationship is rocky at the moment, but it's like she's putting him in a place where he's doing something immoral, narratively, that's generally not going to go over well. And then, of course, they start to foreshadow that a bit more with his conversation with Rafe. And then, into the episode, it basically happens. I mean, granted, her turning on them doesn't inherently mean that, oh, she's evil. It's just obviously she has ulterior motives. So that's more what I'm looking to is what are her motives?
Right. Yeah. And obviously, watching this again and just the fact that when he's like calling her name and she doesn't respond and he has this look like, uh-oh, should I like what happened? Where'd she go? And then even just the way she says like, oh yeah, plenty of places to get lost here. Right.
Well, so this is obviously a subtle indicator as well. The fact that she just disappears quickly on him, it's like, oh, she could do this again. It's easy for her to slip away.
Yep.
Because it's like it was one of those moments that in the immediately I didn't consider the implications of right away. Then she did this, and I started to think about. I was like, okay, that clearly wasn't by accident, even though it's very brief. It's like, okay, why did you have her disappear like that? It's like I kind of feel like they're building distrust with that, and then. She kissed him. I'm like, starting to think she's got other motives.
Yep. It's like, hey, let's just, kiss because we're being walked up on. But it's a little manipulative because, I'll get him to trust me even more. I know he digs me. But this furthers her ulterior motive even more, and it's like, oh yeah, what did he say? This isn't the first time he's caught people kissing down here, and like he compliments her. It's like, oh, you make it easy, and then she's like, you make it easy too, pirate. So, and like, I part of me wants to say that she does sort of fancy him, but obviously she's not. She knows how to.
It's secondary.
Find restraint, right? Exactly.
She would have done it like that, yeah. Because I tend to agree. It's like it's very possible, she likes him, but she would have done this anyway.
Right.
This is. I mean, if once or at least once she saw this was an explorable or exploitable angle, she was like, okay, I'll do that whether I like him or not. It's like clearly, she's got to. If she's going to be paired up with him, it's like, okay, I've got to figure out a way around him to. Get the thing I need to get. So, yeah, it's like whatever angle she can take, she's going to use.
Yep. Agreed. Need to roll, stay on target, stay awesome. You as well, Roman. Good to see you, man. Enjoy that IPA. Remember to
see you.
Hydrate, my friend. Yeah,
I am curious about how will she be treated in light of this? Because it's like, okay, does she have separate motives now? It's like, okay, let's.
Oh, Tao?
Or how? It's like, how will this girl be treated now that the other girl is turned? or she'll be looked at suspiciously.
Yeah, because even just for the sake of like, let me talk to my contact, I'll call you over. Rafe doesn't like that at all. It's like, yeah, this is a bit of a flag for me here, and he really wastes no time. He maybe gives her like 10 seconds, and is like,
Yeah,
I'm getting out of the car, and it's like I thought I told you to wait in the car. It's like, yeah, you did, but you're not my boss. So
it's like I did. I waited 10 seconds.
yeah, you didn't tell me how long to wait. So I counted 10 seconds and just decided to get out of the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I don't know if this guy can actually tell if he's an op or he's just sort of written that way. But
well, I mean, you look at the guy,
can
his
kinda see the
stature. It's
guy.
like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
he
kinda
kind of
hard not
carries
to miss.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, learn a little bit more about the bearings, right? And it's just like the glare, I think it is. And only Molnar will know which is which it works out for them. But since obviously the goal now that has fallen on Haverford because Ish is no longer with them, is that he has to take out Molnar. But seems pretty simple at first glance. Look, we'll just swap the bearings and we'll be okay. But it never usually is. Again, Hastings is trying. Sorry, Hastings. Landry is trying to be all fun and endearing, trying to win people over. Look at the toys. Has a sweet talk to Tal, but definitely try to. He's still trying to win her over, basically. It's like, I got a nice Hanukkah present for you, or whatever it is, and but I think the fact that he gives Mo gives Rafe this 45 is nice. It's like, it's not your 911, but he is a 45, so it's like, yeah. Now we're talking. Now I've got some good firearms. And again, Rafe, he's no idiot, he's no fool. As soon as he hears that it was Ben and Elisa that picked out the vehicles, it's like, wonder why he didn't come to me and ask me what I thought too about it. Which leads us straight to the little miniature staging area about it. And just to kind of go over the details, what needs to be done, right? Who's taking who. But yeah, it's right when Rafe asked this question that you get this weird, awkward look back and forth between this triangle of Ben, Elisa, and Rafe, as I mentioned earlier. Because Rafe would like to, and he would prefer to avoid any sort of civilian casualties. But Ben's like, look, everyone would, but it's something that happens. We should know this all too well based on what we've been doing as frogmen. Like you try to do it, but it might not happen. At least it makes it seem like it's so simple. Like boom, 15 minutes, we're in and out. But yeah, it's something that Ben right here where I'm with Elisa, and it's like Elisa's just like, are you sure about that? And then Ben, I love those. It's like, are you fucking kidding me, mate? You with her? And then just looked at Lisa gives her like,
okay, honestly, this kind of fixes what I said was an issue earlier. I guess I must have kind of mentally glossed over this part, and not maybe I looked down while it was happening. But yeah, this kind of actually fixes what I was talking about. This more or less is him siding with her over him. So I guess that more or less fixes it. So there you go.
I think there could have been a little bit more to this as well.
Yeah, they could have done a bit more to make it more apparent, but it at the very least is something.
Yeah,
it's something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like it's a
good job,
create
show.
Drama, but
good writing. Thank you, show. I love being proven wrong in the positive.
Right. Yeah, Ben's looking to get him some sugar walls. Yeah, he's thinking with his other head, right? But yeah, he's not happy about the fact that he's been siding with her. And again, this is the Captain America moment that I referred to. And
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's like this is their Age of Ultron scene.
He's been chopping up wood. He's like, "You good?"
Age of Iran-tron.
Yeah, instead of vibranium, they're getting bearings.
Yeah.
Titanium bearings. Yeah, teams and shit. But yeah, I was trying to get a good frame here of the log getting chopped in half, which yeah, there it is. I wonder if he actually was doing this in like real life, which I wouldn't really put it past him. I mean, but maybe it's like could have been lighter wood. Who knows? But yeah, it's I like the line though. Is like I could tell when the great Mutalivu is stewing. It's like oh, you want to know my feelings and shit. Like you want to know what I'm feeling. Like okay, yeah. This is what my gut's telling you, and I appreciate Rafe's honesty here, because I think that's something that for them being brothers and the loyalty that they've had with one another, that they can't not tell the truth or to hide the possibility of like, my life is at stake here too. Like, I'm not trying to die for this because I said that I would join and do this one job, but now we're hitting a convoy. Like, this isn't exactly what we signed up for here. I
almost wish, because okay, there's a lot of shows and movies. Often you'll hear a character refer to their gut. I'm talking about they have a feeling about something, whatever. This is one of the few times where it's done well, to the point where I wish he didn't even call it that, because all of his concerns are reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not, I was like, oh, it's not your gut. You've thought this through. It's like you've actually thought this through. I'm kind of annoyed that you're calling it your gut. It's like, no, you're thinking. That's not your gut. You're actually thinking about this in a way that's like, because literally this is probably my favorite scene in the episode, because both of them state their positions in a way to where, kind of similar to like the debate between, Captain America and Iron Man in like Civil War, and even where it starts in Age of Ultron. You have these conflicting takes where they both are reasonable. You may agree more with one than the other, or have a feeling as a viewer of which one's going to be proven right, but it's written in such a way where you can actually understand both point of views, and that both men didn't merely come to them by just going with their gut. It's like, no, you've actually both thought this through. You both have reason to think what you think. That's good. It's like, wow. It's again, it's like I'm almost annoyed that he would call it his gut. Because I was like, no, that's what bad shows call. And it's not an actual. I'm not stating it's an actual flaw. It's more just like that phrase has been so dumbed down by a lot of modern media that it almost makes me wish the show would use another term just to show how distinct it is, because there's actual reasoning here from him and from Ben. And I really like it. I was like, that's just a good scene.
Yeah, I think it is probably the best scene in the episode. I think that he could have used the word like, this is like my instinct is telling me,
I mean, even that I wouldn't call. I would just say, look, I've thought about this, and and he goes, it's like, because he's laying out well thought out points. It's not mere instinct, it's not mere gut. Because I mean, those are kind of interchangeable terms, really. But it's like everything he's saying is very reasonable.
Yeah, it's like based on their literal experience, right? Everything that everything they've learned and trained for, lived through, right? As he said, like that has kept them alive, right?
Yeah.
Saying your gut, I know it's just sort of an easy thing to say in layman's terms, but yeah, I agree. They could have maybe said something else, but
I mean, that's more why I'm more or less like, I'm not calling it necessarily a flaw that he said it, because it's like, these are layman's terms, and people will understand what's meant by it. But at the same time, I'm like, I hope people, when they see this, appreciate that this goes well beyond what we're used to, hearing when that phrase is used. It's like this form of, going with your gut is a much more admirable way to go about it. It's like, no, this is thought out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
unlike something like, if you want to contrast, watch Rise of Skywalker, and anytime they say a feeling, it's like there's no justification. Just about any time their reasoning boils down to, well, because I have a feeling. It's like, well, why do you have that? I just have a feeling. It's like, okay, that's what we're going with, I suppose.
Just a feeling. I got a feeling.
This is the opposite of that.
Right. Yeah, and he just lays it out for him. Like, yeah, we were supposed to get in, get out, or get in. I was getting out. You were supposed to go back to the teams. We did that job, but now we're hitting this convoy and the single source intel in ally country. That's a no. Yeah, he says, like, right here, you're forgetting everything you learned in the teams. It's like, and then everything you've learned from our experiences, like this would have gotten you killed if you were to do this sort of thing in other ops that we've done, right? Things that we've been a part of, like, you would have been the one that died, just like Ish did, right? So, and like, again, like, he could have waited. He would, like, Rafe was right there in the last episode when the doors closed, and granted, yes, I think I mentioned this last week, like, maybe they don't get in the car or the train car, but at the same time, it's like Tal has all the CCTVs to her access. Like, all Ben had to do was just say what he looks like, what he's wearing, right? Because who knows if this guy knows what Ben looks like? Could have just popped on, seen him, and then say, Tal, he's this is what his what he's wearing, this is what it looks like. Tal, face recognition, boom. Because she kills the CCTV anyway, right? They could have just met up with him, stayed on the bike, got back on the bike, or just, who knows, take another car, whatever. But, insert convenience, but, not to make it too cheesy, but they could have cut him off and still been able to kind of maybe even capture him, or just kill him straight there. I mean, I feel like if they would have captured him, then bringing him back to Haverford, I think Haverford probably would have killed him, which I don't know if that would have really, I feel like it would have taken away from Ben's arc. Because it's like, I think Gooch was saying this last week, that him doing that Ben is becoming more like Haverford here, going through these actions, so it's like, if you take away that kill on the train from Ben, capture the guy, bring him back to Haverford, and then Haverford's the one that takes him out, sure, Haverford probably wouldn't care. It already fits his, MO because of, like, what he's lived through and done the last, last few decades.
Well, plus situationally, I don't think it would have made a lot of sense for him to even try to catch him, because it's like, okay, you're both on a subway. It's like, to get to him, you're gonna have to fight, which means you're risking your life to do it. Which, I mean, if you've got the option one way or the other, you're probably gonna have to kill him. Mm-hmm. It's what I like about, like, well, what's interesting about it, of course, is that the fact that he pursued him. Like, this is the thing that Rafe is kind of going on for. It's like, is why did you pursue him to begin with? Yeah. You went out on your own to pursue this person. We don't even know who they are. Yep. So, like, basically the moment he decided to pursue this person on the train, it's like, okay, it's kill or be killed, because you're not going to catch him. Right. The only way you're going to catch him is if you had brought a team with you. Like, to me, it's like, if Rafe had been able to catch up too, then maybe that would have been an option. But even then, it's very difficult, because obviously, if how are you going to catch him when it's out in public? Well, you're going to have to knock him out. That's going to freak people out. And when the cops come looking, we'll just it's these two who are dragging this guy away.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, and the wrong head comment. Yeah, she's not some little cute NCO. She's a Mossad agent, and yeah, you don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, this sort of call out. It's like, this is why you're here. Is to, I think, based on what I'm telling you, you already know, and you're having that same inner thought process,
Right.
and you're wondering if I'm thinking that too, right? Because we have had the same experiences, we have lived through the same thing together. Because I've been your chief for a while now, as he states. So, and I do think he did say that, or did think that, but I also think, yeah, I believe what Ben is saying here is like that, like, honestly, man, this is the first time I've thought and been seeing things clear in a long while, right? Like, which, what he says right here, like, for a long time, right? Based on what he's tired of all the bull crap he's been having to take orders from. He's like, he mentions, I'm tired of people like Commander Cox being treated like, a puppet.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we said a couple episodes ago, like in episode 2, like, Cox didn't want to have to make this decision. Like, he knew how wrong it was, but he had to do it. Otherwise, if he said no, then he would have been relieved of his command too. And it's like, well, he's a commander. Like, that is a lot to give up as well. So it is, he's had to do a lot, with them. He's served with them, and but other people like that, Ben doesn't want to see be a puppet anymore. And this is like the opportunity, they had the freedom to do these sorts of interesting jobs. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're still doing things for your country, but it's like, it's completely different than the teams. But, and, again, like they were able to do something that they didn't get to do in the teams. It's take out, a terrorist, being Denawi. So, I think in this aspect of working in the private sector, right? These moral boundaries that Ben is faced with, he's able to confront a little bit easier. But I think he obviously has been pushing these boundaries as the show has been going along. Like taking the job first and foremost as Rafe walked away from it. Going on the subway alone, getting closer to Eliza, and not siding with his brother here. Even though they seem to hash things through. You're like, iron sharpens iron, my friend. And, it's like, he makes a joke like, plus I came out here to show you how to chop wood. Which, I'm sorry, but I don't think you could out chop.
I mean, unless he's got the technique down better.
Maybe,
which
yeah.
Is possible. Which is possible.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, at a certain size, you're both able.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to technique. I mean, they're both big, they're both muscular, so it's like it's possible.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
I just was like, okay, which one of y'all is going to say it? Don't take from my pile. Someone's going to say it.
That'd be great.
But yeah, I mean, what's interesting is, like, while I understand where Ben's coming from, like I said earlier, it's they both have reasoned out positions. That's what makes the scene good. It's like, I don't doubt that he is seeing things more clear. The problem is, though, he's still his focus is still so singular that while he's seeing things clearly, he has tunnel vision at the same time. I think what he's failing to see in, as he's going through this is, it's like, okay, yes, all that red tape was what made everything foggy. And that's a very understandable frustration to kind of have. But, you're so focused on the next target. It's like you're kind of developing a sort of tunnel vision. And, he's very, he's obviously far too far too quick to trust like these people he's with that aren't Rafe and everything. He's just they're a means to an end, so he's just willing to accept all that they do.
Yeah. What's up, Shieldwall? How you doing, bud?
Hey, Shield Wall.
Chopping
While you
wood.
make the next point, I'm going to be listening, but I'm going to pee also.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll talk to the chat for a second. Chopping wood is mostly technique. Yeah, man. So I definitely had to do some wood chopping. Back home for my dad, and my dad showed me how to chop wood. But yeah, you're absolutely correct, Waylon. I like chopping wood, man. Like I remember, I was helping my my uncle build a house one time for his construction business, and they had chopped or you were chopping down trees, and we were using a chainsaw, and I remember the chainsaw got something happened with the teeth on the chain, so used an axe. That's a good workout, man. That is a killer arm workout for sure. It's the kind of the same thing when you can do a similar method, but you're using like a sledgehammer on like those giant monster truck tires, right? Those are always fun to do as well. But yes, the axe should do most of the work. It's not so much the amount of strength or force you're doing. You're slamming down because if you're getting it just right, and obviously as long as the blade is sharpened and not rusted or busted,
Yeah, tools in general, you want them to do as much of the work as possible.
Yep, it's sort of like
that's part of their function.
Yeah, it's sort of like knives, right? Like I saw this one video of someone taking a katana sword and like dropping it on some melons, and it didn't cut a single one of them. The pile, like the stack of melons, just kind of toppled over. So then like this guy's like sharpening it on like 3 different types of stones, which I just automatically assumed that he knew how to do it because he was Asian. Kidding, but he actually was in the video. So I'm not discriminating, but then the next thing you know, they sharpen it, and then they just take the katana blade, and then they first they took a piece of paper and it cuts a piece of paper easily, but then the blade falls on the lemons and it just cuts them all straight down the line. And it's like, yeah, see, I believe if there was some sort of actuality of them fighting with katana, like samurais are fighting with katanas that are sharpened like that you're easily chopping people's limbs off and just completely eviscerating their skin just with the quickness of their blades. Like I totally believe that. You gotta take care of your tools. Manscaped. This stream is not sponsored by it, but take care of your tools. What's up, Goodwin? How you doing, bud? We are asking questions. Actually. Yeah, this little device here is quite interesting because in the tool montage, again, we get tool in a nice proper place. Unlike Alien Earth here, it is
a little soldering.
Yeah, a little soldering done by Tal. Like, oh, she's nifty. And here's Creeper Landry coming in. He's like, oh, look at this new SIG I got for you. It's so lightweight. Like, you should totally point it in the mirror, and just, practice your aim. And, let me show you what sort of straight shooter I am by copping a feel here. And he almost gets close to some underboob, but
he gets awfully close.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite get into Israel, but his thumb's right in the Gaza Strip.
Right. Yeah. He's crossed the river. Trying to get to the sea.
Oh dear. I knew a joke of that nature was coming.
She ain't having it, which again, it's like, I don't blame you, but even just the way his delivery, yeah, you forgot to thank me.
Yeah.
They're taking
Like,
care
I
of your
don't know if this subplot goes anywhere. I'm like,
from the
I mean,
cleavage to the sea.
yeah, you might be able to do something with it, I guess, but it's one of those plot lines like, if this doesn't go anywhere, I'm gonna be like, yeah, they should have cut this whole little thing out.
It does.
I feel like, does it go somewhere? Okay.
I won't say anything, but I will say, like, yeah, this does have a payoff.
Okay.
But I mean, even like, I'm thinking, oh well, that was just a quick exit. She handled it well. He actually listened. So I'm like, okay, but thinking, okay, this is gonna happen again because he got close this time. So next time might be a little bit more forceful. But he just shuts the door and he's like, make me. He's acting like a child.
He's acting grapey.
Yeah, I know. And then it's like, all right, girlfriend, and like just drops this line, and then here comes other angry Masada lady, Elisa. Starts speaking to him, cursing at him in Hebrew. Not like he can understand what it. What was he called? Like Hajibi or whatever he says outside earlier. But yeah, I find Landry here to he's playing with fire, but I'm like, I feel like he kind of enjoys it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean he's
in a weird way.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had done a little bit more with his character other than just to kind of, let's bring him in. Oh, by the way, he's very grapey. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we're just jumping right in. All right. Then granted, you only have a limited number of episodes, and if there's a good payoff, then I'm like, okay, I suppose that's worth it and everything. But I'm like, wow, we're just getting right into the weeds with this guy. He sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not a good dude. He's not like Rafe. He's not like Ben, who, he's like, he doesn't want a piece of. He's trying to calm that fire that he started, but they just had this weird look like, I don't trust that son of a bitch. Never liked him to begin with. Now I even got more reason to not like him. But I would imagine they're also thinking this guy could jeopardize this mission we're about to go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this look of let's watch our asses here, not just from what we have to do initially, but also of what this guy might do. Who knows? He might betray us. Like he's already kind of.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, it's like, even if he's on board mission wise, it's like if he does something outside of mission that can compromise the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is it already time to harvest the grapes? Yeah. Man, if you enjoy getting kneed the balls, I suggest you seek professional help. Yeah. That's something that
the dominatrix profession should have no takers, and yet there they are.
That would be the true
the
masochist.
Ultimate simps. Yes, they are the ultimate simps.
And knee me in the ball again. Knee me in the balls again, mommy. It's like, I would never ask for that. Yeah, exactly. Don't leave that kind of thing to amateurs. Only let the professionals deal with it. Yeah, this scene is sort of like an addition to what we talked about earlier in the tunnel scene. She's speaking more about her daughter here, which we heard them talking about last week, if we're episode 3, as Ben's picking out a better poet for her as she is about to enlist. There's a jab, a fun little jab, harmless, does the Mossad allow personal jewelry? Which, it's like, oh, now we're following the rules, Ben. Like, we haven't been doing that at all, right? Kind of had a nice little make out scene that I pulled you into because I have an ulterior motive, but you know,
Mhm.
he doesn't know that. But um, I do agree with Elisa though in this point. Ben wants to talk to Landry because he doesn't like Landry to begin with,
Yeah.
and I think it's also to maybe and see what you think about this, but maybe be a little bit more of a hero in her eyes to kind of protect her friend Tal as well, you know, um, by having a word. You know, it's been a long time coming. Like I'd love to have this opportunity because this would be the icing on the cake for me. But she's like, no, this is a good learning experience for Tal because there are plenty of Landrys in this world. So she better get used to it because, you know, she might not have someone like me or you to be there to defend her. And if that is the case, she needs to know what to do for herself.
Foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
because she's very soon not gonna have her around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, just another like nice little intimate moment.
Yeah, it's like it's nice, and I was like, she's turning on. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen in this episode, but right when she did, I was like, nah, this is not gonna end well.
Yeah, she's continuing to play him here, and I'm like, oh Ben, you poor fool. You know, recently divorced, got
emotionally vulnerable.
Yep, emotionally vulnerable, got an attractive female in front of you that yeah, whether she does have actual feelings for him or it's a mix of that and just obviously she's playing him, but man, is he just buying into it. And I know he wishes something developed from this moment here, but he's like, okay. It's like he knows it's like, all right, not now, but maybe later. Maybe if I keep, keep this up and something might eventually happen.
Maybe if you play your dreidels right.
Yeah, right. But again, another interesting message comes through the portal of the contact system that Haverford has in place. And then it shifts to someone we haven't seen yet, which again, we know this is the part of the convoy mission. You know, he's this German guy, fancy watch.
The Germans.
The Germans.
The Germans.
The escort. I do like he's listening to this like metal.
Yeah.
And he turns it off. It's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Why'd you turn the music off? It's like,
you like this? Like you
don't? You like this? Yeah. I love this. It's just sort of like bobbing. And then he just passes out. I'm like, clearly the guys up front were like, all right, like
why can't we not listen to the Kraftwerk? No, you turn on the metal.
Don't you dare turn on the metal. We like the headbanging. We like the screaming and yeah. Nine, don't turn it off.
I prefer when Germans are more like caricatures. It's so much funnier.
It is. Kind of just feeds into it better rather than just like trying to be normal.
You Germans aren't fooling anyone. We know you're not normal.
We know that's the way you actually want to act. Come on. We won't tell anyone. We won't make fun of you. Even though she has a funny accent for I was almost wondering if like they would have heard her accent and be like, something sounds off about it,
Yeah, I was like, are we gonna get a replay of the Inglourious Basterds scene?
Exactly.
Like, your accent sounds really strange. It's like,
yeah, it's like she turns around, is like, did you hear her accent? Kind of sounds a little off, yeah. And yeah. Like then that's maybe when like, not that it's not needed per se, but
the other guy be like, I was too busy noticing her Israeli face, actually. Yeah. Now that you bring it up.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's like, I get like there's more like migration there and stuff like that. So it's probably not, out of the blue to see, a non-German looking German.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he had every right to think about it, but then, yeah, it's just so noticeable about Rafe throwing the explosive device that they've built under the car before them, and then just quickly dispatching them. And then they came well prepared, cut off the bracelet, and it's like you think that they're all free in the clear, like they're clearly like jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. Like, we've got this control now. Like, we thought this was going to be chaotic, but it actually wasn't. We planned it out. We actually managed to get through this alive, or so we thought, because there's no police presence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things are going well with Molnar as well. Haverford's doing his bit, staging the suicide. And it's not until you're like, oh
snap!
Now there's a guy with an RPG. Let's get some Chris Collinsworth commentary here. Now there's a guy who can launch an RPG out of a vehicle.
Gay innuendos incoming.
But
I can hardly watch Monday Night Football because of
I figured you'd appreciate
he's
that.
so hard to listen. I'm like, I don't like listening to him.
I like watching, not to go on a side tangent here, but I prefer to watch the Manning cast with Peyton and Eli. Instead,
I'll just put it. I just have it on mute anymore. It's like, and I'll do something else. It's like, I don't want to listen to his voice. He's so grating.
Yeah, he should retire.
I mean, it's like I like it. What's funny is, like, over the last few years, the gay innuendos have gotten, like, they've been ratcheted up to where it's like I feel like his bosses are feeding him these lines. They're like, no, keep playing it up. This is what the people laugh at. This is where the memes are.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds
Waylon, good. I would rather listen to Joe Buck over Chris Collinsworth any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I will take his kind of drab commentary over Collinsworth easily.
Yeah,
I mean, neither are great, neither are good, but there's a distinction between those two.
Yeah, it's funny how I mean, I'm sure you like Tom Brady's commentary, but I think
not really. No, he's not particularly good at it. Not yet. I mean, I hope he does well at it, but he hasn't gotten good at it yet.
This is his first year, right? So I mean,
this is his second year.
Is it his second year?
It's his second year. He started last year.
Oh,
okay. He's very much still learning the ropes.
Yeah, that's.
I think Aikman's solid. I think
Aikman's solid. I think
Michaels is the best ever. He's a little. It's like you can tell he's not as enthusiastic on Amazon. Plus, he's getting older. But he was probably my favorite when he's at his best. But I liked Greg Olson a lot too. I always liked Greg Olson a lot.
Yeah, because didn't Brady take his spot essentially?
I think so. Yeah, and I was like, oh dang, Olson's actually quite good.
I liked Greg Olson though. Yeah, he was a good one.
Replace Collinsworth with Olson, for crying out loud.
I know. Please, that would be a lot better. I would like that more. What we need is Romo and Brady together. That would actually be pretty interesting. I'd like to see that just happen, like, for one game, just to see the sort of conversation between them.
I don't know, because Romo was one of those weird ones because he started good, but after like that first season or two where everyone was kind of glazing how good he was at it, he just jumped onto the sucking off Patrick Mahomes bandwagon, and now I can hardly listen to him either. He's a little less cringe than Collinsworth, but he's still pretty cringe.
Yeah, so
I want to see Eli and Brady I want to see them.
That would be cool.
That'd be amazing.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that too, actually, now that you mention it. So Ben is saying RPG, and Haverford, he's definitely wondering what the hell's happening. It's like
he immediately
like he's I don't want to lose.
Like, okay, the only way something like this goes down, because it's not a coincidence. He's been doing this too long to know that it's like, okay, this is not some coincidence. If someone else is dropping in, we've got a leak.
Right. Like, and he's worried about losing anyone else. Like, he's already lost, Ish, who we won't really know their true connection, how deep that goes, but we know that Mo and Haverford go back as well. And it's like he doesn't want to lose another person like the next day, right? Or not the next day, but it's like, the next mission, I should say. Yeah, because it's like, man, like you would have been potentially lost 2 people in back-to-back missions. In this sort of, flash, because it kind of just, it's a nice, this is the proper way to do a transition, Alien Earth, this is the proper way to do a transition.
Some pretty strong camera work in this scene too, particularly as it gets closer to the end, like where they go from the tunnel, then go through the door and all that. There's some really good camera work in this whole sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty well staged fight. It's kind of, it's pretty Call of Duty like in a lot of ways. Just actually written, fairly well and everything. Granted, I'm very curious to see where it all goes. I'm like, okay, is this, are these her guys that are doing this? That or I would assume they probably are, or at least she staged it to where she would have a distraction, so she just used someone else. I don't know, but I get the sense I'm like, okay, I'm assuming these are people aligned with her. The one, like the one part that I thought they probably should have staged a little bit better was because and it's an off-screen thing, so it's a very small thing. Not an off-screen thing, but just to the side. Is when they're moving, you can see there's a vehicle with a woman inside, and she's screaming, like she's gonna get her hands up, but then she like blood splatters on the windshield, and I was like, okay, that's a really cool idea, but it should have probably been done like near the beginning of this, because the fight had been going for a little while, so at this point she probably should have like ducked down. It's like, well, you've had a lot of time to duck down in your vehicle or run the heck away. So it was like they had a really cool idea. They just did not stage it well, because I'm like, it occurs so late in the fight that you're like, she would have gotten down, wouldn't she? It's like she's not just going to sit there the entire time while this is going on. She's either going to run or get low so she doesn't get hit. So yeah, it's like I would have done that earlier in the fight, because it was a cool idea to show. It's like, oh crap, civilians are getting caught in this.
Yeah, I don't know if like she just had shock or something like that, but I agree. Like, it's gonna be just a weird timing thing, but this is some good camera work, as you were saying, right? When they're just going through the whole move set here, and the running down the hallway, which, it's interesting the fact that they obviously took different, ways, because that was planned that way, but at the same time, like, it was like, what would have happened if Rafe decided to follow Ben, and it's like, it's too hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would have happened if Rafe followed Ben and Elisa in the tunnel, right? Like, would have had to have shot both of them? Like, I
think in this situation, like the positioning is what gives away that that's not likely to happen. Like they've each got like certain, like they're gonna know their entries, their exits. So my sense is that the way this is planned, she can probably guess the likelihood of that, without it posing too much of a risk. And that's not to say it's an impossibility, but I would say it's like she's probably at least got it down to a near certainty. Plus, if all she really would have to do is let both of them get ahead of her and then start shooting.
Yeah.
Granted, he could obviously still complicate that, but it's like I said, the likelihood I would say is that she's assessed she's crossed her T's and dotted her I's for this situation.
Yeah, I think the pondering of Ben here, and realizing how much time had actually passed. And I appreciate this line when he says, "Oh, it got cut off," but it's like, I need ammo, basically, right? I need more mags, because it's like, oh, someone's actually paying attention to the bullets that they engage with in a firefight, because it's like half the time when you see stuff like that in movies or shows, they just like expend a ton of ammo, and then just
I can't help but think that in all likelihood, there was a moment in the writer's room where they considered writing him saying, I need some bullets, and then her shooting and be like, well, here's some bullets. And they were like, no, this isn't that kind of show. We probably shouldn't do that. We'll say magazines.
Yeah, I need some more bullets. I got one for you. Huh? Pop, pop, pop.
Here's a few.
Yeah. Ugh. Not like that.
Is he wearing armor that's deflecting that away, or is he just for real getting shot up?
I think it's just sticking to the armor. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, okay, she's clearly, and that's why I'm like that's what I figured. So I'm like, okay, so she knows, and he's gonna know that she intentionally did not kill him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is where you're like, all right, then she's not. It's like she has ulterior motives, but is not likely evil.
Right. Like because she could have just flat out, popped him in the head right here. Instead, she just knocks him out. Right. So, and then, like you said, Haverford's been in this business for far too long. He knows more than a thing or two here. And then just realizes
it's not a coincidence that this has happened. So what's going on?
It's like, wait, why is this low this shouldn't be low battery. What the hell? Just by feeling the weight, right? Like that's just something like you pick up on. Like, been using this charger for a long time now. Why does this feel different? Okay, let me crack it open, and then boom, and it's like she hacked my frickin' phone. And
isn't this the thing that the girl was
soldering? Yep.
So I'm like, is it that particular one, or was it just like, oh, she's gonna do? Because I'm like, they showed that, and I'm like, okay, this is for something else. And I'm like,
no, they put that shit in plain sight for us to see and think like it's part of the mission.
I get the sense that the one the girl was building was like, oh no, she's building this for something else, and then they show this, and it's like, oh, same concept, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. It was for this moment, without saying anything else, but the next episode there's some real continuity issues within the gunfights. Really? I'll go back and check. I mean, I'll find out soon. If so, we'll talk about it. But yeah, Jed's like, nah, this isn't flying here. Like he's pissed. So it's like now he needs to, like, he the fact that he's betrayed by someone, within his own team here. It's like, man, I lost Ish. They were ambushed, and now Tal has hacked my phone. Like that is a bad string of events here for him that he.
Okay, so it was Tal who hacked his phone.
It was Tal, yeah.
Okay, well then there you go. They're both in on it.
Yeah, the freaking Mossad, man, you can't trust him. Can't trust him. And then it ends, and that is the end of episode 4, The Sound of Guns, which we definitely hear the sound of guns in this episode based on the gunfight that happens at the end, and then the gun that wounds or puts Ben on his back at the tunnel, unfortunately. But I don't know, what would you kind of rate this episode, if you can?
Yeah, I would probably rate this one about a 7.5. It's probably, it's got a few flaws to it that are a little bit glaring, I guess. Like nothing too major or everything. And like I said, like this was obviously what the first, like the episode prior was kind of setting up this a bit, and this feels like obviously it's setting up a little bit more. But yeah, for the most part, though, this is a pretty strong episode with one moment in particular I really, really like. Obviously, the conversation between Ben and Rafe. It's a pretty strongly written overall. But yeah, it's a good episode. I quite like it. This is a pretty steady level of quality between these 4 episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this episode about an 8. I do like the setup that's happening. I think learning that it's not just Elisa that betrays and causes this sort of plot twist, but it's also Tal. So it's the Mossad women that cross Haverford and Ben, I guess collectively, but also the conversation that Ben and Rafe have, that whole scene with the wood chopping again, which I think is the best scene in this episode. And again, like as I mentioned before, this episode's only 45 minutes long, so it's shorter than the other ones. So, and it's not to say like, well, it doesn't give us enough, because I think it does. For what's being done in the next 3 episodes here. I don't remember exactly what happens in the 5th episode. I think that I might have watched those last 3 like the least. But that's why we're watching them again anyway. But yeah, I mean, overall, like it's still good. I know we're kind of just talking about some things, not so much to nitpick at them, but just to maybe, if it was a bit longer, what they could add and what they could maybe, divulge a little bit more for the characters, and maybe, just a couple other interesting scenes to provide. But yeah, still good. It's still at this point for the show, 4 episodes in. I mean, there's not a lot of spinoff shows as well that have such a strong start to a show or to like a series. And then, it's competent writing. It's good cinematography, good music placement. There's a lot that is just consistent between all these episodes here, between the characters and the acting and so forth. So love to see it, but I think that'll about do it for us tonight. And it was only the 2 of us. I think I mentioned this before when my mic was not working, it was muted, which I blame StreamYards for. But I was like, we would have had Vex and Gooch here, but I know Vex was having internet issues, and then Gooch was helping out his lady friend with some work. Being a good gentleman, so I was like, I'll give you a pass since you're being a gentleman,
You're thinking with the wrong head, Gooch.
Thinking with the wrong head, Gooch. Should have been here with the mission, man.
He's the Mossad.
I have to send that to him on the stream later. Line up some backups. Good one. What you doing? I'm just kidding. No, this is good. I had fun just me and Gord. So like last week, Gord was out for work. So and then Gooch had to drop off early, so it was just Vex and I. So it was a good combo though. I mean, I think I
think we've only had one episode where all of us were present so far.
Yeah. So timing, it happens, so but the show must go on, and it went on today, even though we had a little bit of a weird audio issue, but wouldn't be the first time, and it certainly won't be the last. But
if silence is violence, then the beginning of this stream will get this banned.
Yeah. What do you got going on this week for your channel and all that and stuff?
So first off, tomorrow I will be over on Jacob Ironside's channel. We're going to be talking 2 movies. We're going to be talking The Goonies and The Monster Squad, the latter of which I still have to watch. Probably watch that tonight before I go to sleep. And also, as I was editing my Killer of Killers video, which is pretty relatively lengthy, I've kind of stewed on this idea for a while of breaking it into 2 parts. Partially kind of as a joke because it's an anthology film and making a duology video set, but I put up a poll in my community section. It's very strongly in favor of making it into 2. So likelihood is then the part 1 is either going to come out tomorrow or Thursday because it's just about finished. So yeah, I'll probably have the first part in the next couple of days and the second part next week. So yeah, that's what I got going.
Nice. Good stuff. As for myself, tomorrow I will be on Zax's channel as we've been going through our year by year movie breakdown or movie battle, I should say, where but now we've made it through the seeding stages and we're now getting into the playoffs of the playoffs. You're talking about playoffs? Yeah. It's I think it's oh god, was it? It's 1993 versus 1994, I believe.
Oh, those are good years.
Yeah, and I think
it's the Pulp Fiction year versus the Schindler's List year, basically.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about that. I think it might have been last night. I want to say briefly, based on like those are two really strong years, and it's like kind of like in a sports team tournament where if you have two strong sports teams that match up in the first like round of the playoffs instead of like meeting up later in the end, like how you would kind of expect, like, in football, like the NFC or the AFC conference game, right? Or like, you've got like any sort of conference game, like usually you'd like to see the two strongest teams get to the end there. And, because like they should technically mop other teams. So like, my prediction is that regardless of who wins, from 93, 94, I think they'll potentially make it to like the actual final round of the whole thing. Now, as Zach's pointed out last night as well, based on certain people's decision making, which will not be named, but
no need to. I was only able to watch one of those streams just for my mental well-being, because I was just like, oh my gosh, the wrong people, like half of this panel should not be here talking about. They shouldn't be talking movies in general.
Yeah,
they should be talking Play-Doh. And that's Play-Doh, not the philosopher.
Yeah, William's got it. The millennial normie decisions.
Don't lump it. I think we need to get rid of the millennial label part, because some of us millennials are actually able to be intelligent. It's the generation after we really need to be going after.
Well, like, last Wednesday, when we had the 94 versus 96 battle, that went rather smooth, and but we finished at a good time too. And it's like, I mean, yeah, exactly. And we were talking about this after the fact. It was like, man, there weren't any like lofty takes at all. I mean, there were a couple things that we kind of disagreed with, but it was sort of like, in a rock and a hard place. But, Zach said last night, I was like, yeah, 93 might suffer the loss because of, some of the decisions that were made and strongly pushed to get on the list because of, so that'll be interesting. So that'll be 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central for that start. And then Thursday I will be on Gooch's channel, Diabolical Souls presents Kaiju number 8. I think it's episode 7, I want to say. 6 or 7 for that. But and then you can catch me on Late Night with the Gooch tonight at midnight, and then Thursday at midnight, and then I might do like some solo gaming streaming on the weekend. Friday's Halloween, so I'm gonna be out and about playing some pranks on kids and stuff like that, and tossing out candy with some family, and just having a party at our friend's house. So that'll be fun for me. And then I'll be back here Monday night for Masculine Mondays, as we're talking about the one and only Predator. which is gonna be awesome. That'll be good. So, then next Tuesday we'll be back here for episode 5 for Dark Wolf. So, but yeah, follow Papa Pumpkin Gord. His description is or his info is in the description below. Let's see, who can we raid into? Who is also streaming here? But yeah, I want to thank everyone who watched, liked the video. If you're rewatching this on a rewatching the stream, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, sub. It's free. Drop a comment if you're still watching the show, and what your thoughts are and all that kind of fun stuff. So, I don't see anyone streaming. I think, let's see, AJ's going to be streaming soon. I think Moxie's going to be streaming soon. Gooch doesn't stream until an hour away. We'll go into AJ. I think AJ's stream is about to start here in like a few minutes anyway. So,
hey, let's throw peanuts at both of them.
Yeah. Wait, why does it say scheduled October 24th?
Yeah, behind much.
Hold on.
I mean, are you talking about? Is it AJ's stream, which is 4 days behind?
Yeah.
Wow, he's real. Gosh, it's like I understand playing into the stereotype, but holy crap, 4 days, man.
Yeah, it says like it's scheduled for 10/24, and I'm like, my dude, it's 10/28.
It's like, dude, I think you missed one.
maybe he missed it. Hold on, let's see here.
I do see. Okay, I do see scheduled for 11/28/25 now. So.
Okay. That's weird. Okay, so.
I was gonna say scheduled for 10/24 would be freaking hilarious.
It's like AJ, bro.
11:15 though, so still 15 minutes away, but again, yeah, that's not too far.
Yeah, we'll just you want to go over there and wait. I don't know. We can throw some bananas in the chat. The usual. Lion King is overrated. Tarzan. I mean, it's not overrated, but Tarzan.
I wish I could say that honestly, but dang,
I know.
I invited him on for a stream about the Lion King, a while back, and when I rewatched it, I was thinking about maybe calling it slightly overrated based on memory, but when I rewatched it, I was like, nah, this isn't overrated. Actually, the Lion King's pretty freaking stellar. There's not a lot wrong with the Lion King. That's a pretty top tier movie, I have to admit. I mean, it's not hard to admit. I do really like the Lion King, but growing up, I always thought Aladdin was superior, and I'm like, I can't honestly say that now because Aladdin has glaring flaws, even though I still love it. But gosh, the Lion King is pretty top tier. I can't be mad. I can't be mad if someone has that as their favorite.
But AJ will be streaming Mads is on. Who's Mads? Oh, Machismo? Is that what you mean?
The French movie?
What's up, Larry? How you doing, bud? Tough Night at World of Words is on. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I went through last night's marathon watching that World Series game. So once I saw what was happening in this current one, I was like, okay, good. I don't have to turn it on. Because that was an easy peasy one. But last night's game. That
1999 year was a headache.
Oh my gosh.
That was bad. That was a bad one, yeah.
It truly was the end of days.
All good, dude. Yeah. I mean, I watched what happened last night in the World Series this morning when I was at the gym. Machismo.
I stopped what I was doing. Like, 'cause I had it on the background for the most part, like probably after about the 4th or 5th inning. And I stopped what I was doing around the 11th inning. It's like, okay, I want to see how this finishes. I didn't realize it'd be sitting there for like 7 more innings. So I was like, holy crap, it's still going.
Yeah, because what did it finish in the
18th inning, bottom of the 18th. It was wild. It was and there were so many like great plays or guys that like made stars of themselves over the course of the game. I was like, it was a genuine classic. It's one of those games where it's like, especially if the Dodgers ultimately win, this will be that game's legendary. It's gonna be legendary regardless. I mean, they're even losing teams in a series have had games like that are highly remembered, but especially if the Dodgers win. It's historic.
Yeah. End of Days is a great movie. Someone on that panel. I remember that.
Oh my gosh. It is great. Yeah, like I said, talk Play-Doh.
I remember that. But last but not least, I want to thank Gord for having a nice convo with me. I enjoyed it. It was always fun to chat with you, my friend, and it's been fun to chat about this series so far. So, but
I'm sorry about getting our streams crossover last night. I was like, I'm supposed to be on Ghostbusters.
And it might have been my oversight because I was like, I thought I had them down, but like I don't remember if like.
I looked through like our
message,
our one-on-one chat and didn't see it anywhere. I was like, it still could have been in the other one, but I was like, I ain't scrolling through this one to find it. But
I know
I don't remember committing to that one, but
it might have been.
I could have. I don't know.
It might have been in our in the main the main like Masculine Monday thread that I have.
It would have to have been in that one because I literally did go through our entire thread, just the one that you and I have.
Yeah.
And like I found one that would have been before, and I found something after, and I was like, okay, there's nothing in between. So if it's there, it would be in the Masculine Mondays one. But I was like,
there's way too much in that. I'm like, I'm like, I'm not gonna go through all that because I'm like, I'll at that point I'll probably miss it because of all the extra chatter in there too. So I'm just like, all right, well.
That would be like literally scrolling through thousands of messages to try to find.
I know. Nugget. And then something happens and it brings me back to the front again. I'm just going to give up and I'm like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is, so, but yeah, next week, Predator, it's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. And looking forward to finishing up this, moving onward with this series. We're not finishing up next week by any means, but when you get Gordon in the Discord, aren't you? I don't know if you joined my Discord or not, but
I have no idea because I'll be perfectly honest. I almost never bother with Discord. I'm like, how many freaking social media things do I need? Like I have Discord. It's on my computer because some people like will do watch parties on it, but I generally speaking do not get on Discord. It's just it would be another time consuming thing. So
I hear you.
Even though having my own Discord called Discord is of course. I actually do have that. It's just I didn't bother much with it.
That's good. Smash just came on. What did he come on what? Oh, you're saying for streaming? Yeah. To raid into, you mean? Is that what you're referring to? Peeps? I guess I could do that.
I don't know.
But yeah, we'll call it there. We'll see everyone. I'll see you guys around, but I'll see you here next Monday night. And yeah, toodaloo.
Night.